only, so it's going to be mostly behind the paywall, but it's awesome. And of course, we want to give the subscribers as much as possible.
There's some free stuff out there too. Head over to NASL.tv, go to the videos section. You can click on the segments tab of the videos section, and you can see some of the stuff we did with Roots, and there will be a lot more uploaded in coming days, including some subscription-only stuff, but it's all very worthwhile. We so much fun was had. We went and played paintball, and TT1, actually, I shot him like several times in the chest, and he's still mad at me. So mad at me, in fact, Kevin, that on the Battle.net forums where the pros talk about balance, TT1 called me out and said that I was a jerk for shooting him with the paintball gun.
Yeah, that was kind of funny at the final paintball moment where, you know, you could have just aimed for anyone, but you directly hit it. Directly aimed for TT1. TT1 looked so washed up on Saturday night, man, when he had to play games. You could just see he was in pain and agony. That's kind of sad. Anyways, Ben, back to StarCraft, as Hwangsin is currently leading 1-0 over Targa. Hwangsin is 0-2 in our league if you just tuned in, and Targa currently holds a 1-2 record. Daybreak should be a better map for Targa, but in general, whenever I watch Targa Daybreak, I feel it's very solid. He knows what he's doing. He's good at shutting down early Protoss aggression, and it's just a lot harder to pull something off like Hwangsin did on Metropolis with force fielding off the ramp. On Daybreak, Ben, that's almost impossible, because how are you ever going to get a Warp Prism across the map without Zerg noticing it?
Yeah, well, it'll be very, very tough, and that's one of the reasons why so many Zerg players have kind of defaulted to Daybreak as their go-to map in situations when they are down. Very, very common for Zergs to pick Daybreak in every matchup. And Targa making that choice here today. We have to think he wants to play the most standard style possible. He's going to sit back, he's going to macro, and he wants to play to the end game. Now, Hwangsin, there's very little telling exactly what he wants to do, but he does have a reputation for being aggressive. That said, we've seen him play some great macro games on this map.
Certainly on Daybreak, I think Hwangsin is a player who prefers 3-based play over 2-based, because I think Hwangsin had, of course, in the past a lot of experience with 2-based play of Protoss, and he must know as well that this is just not the best map anymore. It's so hard to keep a secret from Zerg on this map, so it's much more it's much more likely that it just goes up to 3-based standard and try to hit a pre-hive timing. Those still sort of exist on Daybreak, but it's hard as well because Zerg just got extremely good on Daybreak. I think we can all simplify it while stating that, man.
Yeah, it's very true. We do see a very super standard opening from Hwangsin with the wall off at the front. He's got that first cannon as he will begin to take his initial gases. And Targa also keeping it standard. Gasless 3 hatcheries, droning up. This is Daybreak as we've come to know it, Kevin.
Now, while saying that I think Zerg became good at Daybreak, I more mean that they feel very comfortable in stopping most of the aggression. Now, of course, a lot of Protoss players don't really mind this map either, as it's also equally as hard for Zerg to really do something about Protoss going up to 3 and later on 4 bases, and that's why you also often see the mothership, sometimes even carriers on this map, man, as Protoss gets so much money that eventually it is nice to have those heavy air units against Broodlords.
You could probably argue, Kev, that this map is responsible for our current metagame, where Zerg players, instead of trying to punish a 3-basing Protoss, take a 4th, go up to Hive, turtle super hard. I mean, all of that really started with Daybreak, and I dare say with White Raw, taking a 3rd base at 8 minutes one day and then defensing it.
And one time even like 6 minutes and 45 seconds, I think. It's like, White Raw, what have you been doing last night? This is not normal White Raw, but White Raw, no, it's okay. With force field, it's okay.
It's okay. I make immortal, I make good force field.
And it was okay, Ben, as a couple of Zergs tried to break it, but then they came to the conclusion like, instead of trying to break it really hard and hoping that hoping that Protoss misses a force field or two, why not just counter it with a lot of drones, something that Red did later on Cloud Kingdom as well and on Daybreak, and just drone up like crazy and go for really quick Broodlords. And that turned everything around again. Anyways, we're theory crafting a lot. So far in this game, Ben, not a whole lot has happened, but Hwangsin did go for a pretty quick robo once more, as I'm trying to locate it, and I found it. Wasn't easy, but I found it.
Very well hidden right there in the natural. It's a spot that I don't think Targa's going to see anytime soon. I don't think he didn't see it with his initial flyby, did he? No, he has no idea that the robo was down. And Hwangsin is making sentries again, so we may see him go for that same sort of 4-sentry drop.
It's so hard to pull off normally though on this map, but right now, Ben, there's not a single Overlord on one of these sweet Overlord spots, and there is also not a single unit out on Targa on the map. I'm taking a look at the unit the unit counter tab right now, and what do we see, Ben?
Not much. Not much.
49 drones, 9 overlords, and 3 queens.
It's a pretty empty tab right now, as we do see the sentry of Hwangsin just chasing this overlord out, saying, no, you will not scout my robo. Twilight Council goes down. That's an interesting variation. Warp Prism is coming out still, but I guess we can't really expect to see the Immortal follow-up. It will be some kind of blink play. Maybe once in a blue moon we might see DTs.
Yeah, I'm not expecting DTs. I think it's going to be Blink Stalker, perhaps follow-up as well. Perhaps 8 gauge with Blink Stalkers, a couple of sentries, and Immortal, and +2 upgrades. As Hwangsin is going very heavy ban on his gas income, as he only had 10 probes on his minerals while already mining fully from all his simulators. So I definitely do think that we're going to see some Blink Stalkers later on with +2.
You know, Hwangsin has done a great job of keeping Targa in the dark here.
It is a Dark Shrine.
Standard, man. I know my Hwangsin, bro.
You know your Hwangsin?
As Warp Prism will make its way out, just skirting the edge of this Overlord's vision. Targa's got no idea. Dark Shrine very far from being complete, so we're not going to be able to expect any DTs on this initial warp in. And Targa's already getting prepared for something like this. And it's very, very smart, stopping at about 50 drones to make some roaches just because he's in the dark. This is something that you actually have to do.
But he's been super in the dark also because he didn't make a single Zergling throughout the entire game.
Also a good point. Plenty of roaches out to deal with these zealots, and there's pretty much no chance of Hwangsin doing any real damage here.
Losing a roach is a little bit sloppy for Targa. It's not the type of micro that I'm used to from him. As he took some damage on the other roaches as well, but no biggie, as he did shut down this zealot aggression pretty hard. He cancelled the Dark Shrine ban, and now he's still going to go for Blink. So I'm not sure if... I mean, Targa definitely didn't see anything. So Targa had no idea about all these perhaps mind games, or...
Hwangsin mind gaming himself.
Or maybe because Hwangsin saw the Spore Crawler. Did he see the Spore Crawler?
I really have to wonder how Hwangsin wants to recover here. Targa's in a pretty good position to just get aggressive.
Hwangsin did see the Spore Crawler ban, so that might have everything to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, Targa, because he was so blind, he was forced to be extra cautious. We've got spores in every single base. We've got the Overseer with the army, so it's almost like he was preparing for this possibility completely blindly, and that's something that you really have to do. It's a hallmark of a good player.
And I mean, if you go only drones, you can definitely afford losing a drone or 2 or 3 on a couple of spores, which are useful throughout the entire game and useful against Warp Prisms, against... well, would be crazy, but later on some Stargate units as well. And more importantly, always against observers as well, because it's so easy for a Protoss to just rally an observer somewhere and then fly it into a Spore Crawler.
There are a lot of roaches and lanes out on the map right now, and it just looks like an overwhelming number of Zerglings. Targa does land a good force field, though. It's going to keep him out of his natural for the time being. Still no third Nexus down.
No, because there was an Overlord dropping creep as well. A good move there by Targa, while Hwangsin was aggressive, making sure that he couldn't go up to 3 bases really quick as well. This is 11 minutes and 30 seconds, man. There are openings with Stargate where you can expand quicker than this, so you can just imagine this is really pretty damn slow for Protoss.
That said, Hwangsin's doing it in a sort of slow and steady, wins the race kind of a way. This is not an army that Targa's going to have an easy time trading with. Immortals are going to make short work of the roaches. There's a lot of sentry energy, and these stalkers have blink, Kevin, so it's going to make it hard for them to be targeted down as well. So Hwangsin, while his expansion is certainly on the later side of things, is going to be able to get it up safely.
Targa forgot roach speed for a little while though, or unless that was part of his build order, but that would be a very strange one as he had so many roaches out on the field already. Because I think with roach speed this would have been a little bit tougher for Hwangsin than it now turned out to be. Because slow roaches obviously not all that quick, and certainly not off creep, so it makes it a lot easier for Protoss to drop good force fields in case he has to. Now in this case Targa really never committed to the aggression, but it might have everything to do with the fact that he forgot roach speed.
Targa going to dump all of his gas into Infestors as he continues to macro up, expanding again to a 4th base. He's working on about 76 drones right now. Wouldn't be all that surprised to see one more big drone pump, and then to see him start making that transition to spine crawlers, hive tech, and ultimately Reports.
One thing that is sort of working for Bando are the upgrades for Hwangsin, as we already see +3s going on the way, and that's pretty quick, so that is kind of nice for him. Well, Targa did take control of this Zelnang Watchtower now as well, or in the words of Lauren, the eyeball.
The eyeball. Lings are going to get cornered, though, and several of them will die horrible deaths as Hwangsin just warps in right on top of them. Targa's now max, 200 supply, Roach, Ling, Infester.
And I'm loving the army that he is going to be maxed with, Ben. Even though this is a pretty basic army, he's going to go up to 10 Infestors, and 10 Infestors against an army without High Templars and Colossus. I'm digging that if I'm a Zerg player.
They can be so difficult to deal with. Only about 150 supply for Hwangsin, who is being very ballsy, pushing this far forward.
Also weird timing as +3 is halfway done, Ben.
Oh man, I'm just waiting to see the big fungal go down. It looks like Hwangsin is really playing with fire, marching up to the edge of Targa's creep. And what is going to happen here? There's a forward blink. We'll pick off a couple of Infestors. So that's not bad. Nice force fields here by Hwangsin. But does he have enough to live through all this fungal?
Targa's gonna need to make some units though, as he was dropping in supply rapidly. Now he is making 56 links, but he's still not even maxed out anymore. So far so good for Hwangsin, Ben.
Yeah, those fungals were not as effective as we thought they would be. Not really refreshing him correctly, and
good positioning by Hwangsin as well. But still, Ben, he's not out of here yet, and I'm still afraid that this could turn out pretty ugly for him, as he's really gonna commit to this right now.
A lot of sentries left over and some good force fields. A bunch of the Zerglings do slip through, but there are Zealots in the mix. There we see Infested Terrans being dropped. I don't think they're going to be that effective. I think Hwangsin has done a really good job of this push, Kev.
So far, so good indeed. Roach is getting closer right now, though, but still 5 Immortals in the mix. And Infestors are starting to run really low on energy. 8 more Infestors are on the way. But Hwangsin has a supply lead right now.
Oh, Hwangsin, how are you making this work? It's just a 3-base Immortal push against a lot of Infestors. And it looks like it's going to go his way. Targa's out of units. GG gets called in Hwangsin.
Wow.
With the 2-0 victory.
The funny thing is, during the majority of that fight, he didn't even have +3 ready.
Yeah, that was crazy. Kevin, there was one thing that I think Targa was really lacking, and that was spine crawlers. They are so critical in
controlling space.
Controlling space. They play such a pivotal defensive role when there are no Colossi out. You just can't really push through a big wall of spine crawlers and Infestors if you don't have Colossi.
It's weird to see Protoss being able to position himself that well, that close to the fort of Zerg. Now, obviously, I can understand that Targa was a little bit afraid, but I don't know. He could have done that better. He gave Hwangsin a lot of freedom, but still, I didn't expect that battle to turn out the way it did. Because I thought the first fight will be remotely close, Fungus will do some damage, but then the reinforcements will clean up pretty much everything. But that is not what happened.
Yeah, a little sad to see Targa go down like that. Big win for Hwangsin, showing that he still has some life in him here in the 4th season of the North American Star League. That last game brought to you guys by Go to My PC. Remote access to your computer from anywhere on the planet. You can check out Go to My PC via the North American Star League promotional offer available over at nasl.tv/p/Go to My PC. Our next game, Kevin, what is it going to be?
I think it's going to be your game of the night, Ben. Now, most people probably think that Teja versus MC is the game of the night.
But it's not. This is the game to look forward to. Bishu versus Vibe, the Swede versus North American runner-up. United States champion, root for root Vibe. That's all coming up after this short break. Don't go anywhere, guys. A lot more StarCraft still to come for the North American Star League after this.